Back at a job. If anybody's been watching for a long time, you'll recognize this one. Two big boulders. So I'll go ahead and start right here. We're going to be clearing around. There's a boulder up there about the size of a house the owner wants to be able to see when he comes down the driveway. Just big granite boulders like we have around here. But gosh, we did all this work with the army truck moving all the dirt. I don't know how long ago it's been, but I cut a road back here. It's probably 1,500 feet long from the road to a house back here. We had to clear all this, haul the brush out, cut the dirt down, build the road, put it in stone. Humongous culvert pipe down here. But the owner's got a little more clearing to do down here that he wants us to do. I'm trying to figure out how long this has been since I've worked here. We had the 210B. I want to say it's probably about 5 years ago, maybe 6, probably about 5 years ago. But you can tell how much I had to cut down. I've got videos of doing all this. It's a pretty cool project. Go down here to where the culvert is. Got a little ditch on this side of the road. Best I remember, it's like a 48-inch, I think it was concrete pipe. It's right down here in this bottom. I had to take all that dirt from that area we just cut through and haul it down here to raise this up. Everything's kind of growed in. You can't really see it too good, but there is a big concrete culvert down here somewhere. Most likely right down here in the bottom. Oh, there it is. Looks like everything's held together on it pretty good. Still got the silt fence around it. Alright, up to the house we go. We're going to do some clearing around the garage or something. I'll find out when I get up there. So down here at the end of the road is a house on the lake and no way to get to the garage. So we're actually going to clear probably about 25 feet off this tree line and build a driveway down here to the house so they don't have to park in the front yard. Alright, so I'm going to get started clearing, knock a few little trees down. This will be the biggest one to start with, and it's not too big. We are putting everything in the dump truck when he gets it down here and hauling it up front to a burn pile. The customer is going to take care of burning it himself. He just wants it in a pile up in the field up front. I said I can handle that. We'll haul it up there and I'll stack it up before we leave, and it'll probably sit there for a while. We can burn it. And then he's got a decent little tractor over there he can keep it pushed up with, or just let it be, whatever he decides. Brake, log brake. Trying to avoid having to use the chainsaw for one tree here. I think it's got some roots on it. Come on. I don't know what type of tree it is, but it's got more roots on it than it did branches. They don't go deep in the ground, but they go out everywhere. There we go. Little stringy roots. At least it's real sandy here. Considering we just got 4 inches of rain yesterday morning. haul it about 1,000 feet. So I just pile it in the dump truck any which way, and then you can haul it up there and dump it out. It doesn't have to look pretty, it's just got to stay in the dump truck. This lot and everything. It backs up to the lake down there. Alright, I'm going to keep knocking some trees down, and I'll get a little video when we start loading it out. Load up a little brush. You're just hauling it with the tailgate open, since you just got to go about 1,000 feet down the driveway to the burn pile. That way I don't have to sit here and cut all this stuff up, or worry about trying to break it up into smaller pieces. Pile. Might be too big of a pile. Always one branch that does not want to follow along. Try and grab it now. It's pretty well going to fill up the truck. Haul it down the road like that, right? Go clear some more. And everything is cleared. Put the new driveway right through here, turn around down there, and new driveway will come up here and tie into the existing driveway up there. There goes the load of dirt and mess. I actually got a spot up here to dump it. I'm taking the excavator all the way back up to the hill up there, and we're going to cut probably 10 or 12 loads of dirt off of it to bring down here and level off in front of that garage a little bit before we bring some rock in here. So I'm digging a hole up here to get the dirt I need. We're going to skim a couple feet off this little ridge right here, but it's about 2 feet of topsoil, so by the time I did all that, it was just easier just to dig a hole and then scrape everything up and fill the hole back in. With a high capacity bucket, you can tell the difference. It takes about, well, it used to take about 14 scoops. now takes 12, or if it took 12, it takes around, yeah, used to take 12 scoops, now it takes 10 to pretty well fill the truck up. Red clay, and then I start hitting rock down there. About 8 or 10 feet, I would say. How deep I am before I hit rock. So I'll probably load one more load, and then I'll go up there and start spreading it out and putting it in place, and he can load and haul it himself. But this will be enough right here. back up here where I started this morning, where the boulders are. I'm going to go ahead and start clearing in here to access the gigantic boulder out there. Let's knock a few trees down. I would say that's a pretty good sized boulder. This is from the narrow end. It's probably about 40 foot long. It's weird, in certain areas we just have these giant boulder outcroppings like this. They're kind of cool. Look at that holly tree growing out of that one. Pretty good sized tree too. Huh. Oh well, I'll get them cleaned up around, and I may take that tree down, but I think I'm going to leave the holly tree. That's kind of cool growing out of in between those. I think it's kind of cool how the trees are growing off of this rock. It's like it started up top and then the roots just kind of grew around it till it found the dirt. I'll probably leave that cedar tree and that holly tree. I may yank out that one right there. It's kind of ugly. I'm going to clean up behind it and see what it looks like. 3 trees left. Doesn't take much to get these down. Being little poplar trees, they're pretty brittle with this shallow root system. Easy there, big bug. What that thing was, but it was huge. Kind of impressive, but only because that's a softwood. So I love the boulder outcropping. See those two right there? And then here's the great big one I've been clearing around, or 3 or whatever it is. They're awesome as long as you don't have to, like, they're not in the way of something. These aren't in the way of anything. He just wants to clean up around them, but I think they're pretty cool. Just these huge granite boulders. Different parts of the county is just full of them. You go out in the woods and there'll be boulders 5 times bigger than this just sticking up out of the ground. And how that little holly tree, well, it's not a little holly tree, it's an 8-inch diameter tree, grew in between those is pretty wild. But I cleaned up around it, left this little cedar tree. If it was bad enough to grow right there, I figured it would probably survive a little while longer. Big giant boulders. So that's kind of a cool little landscape feature as you're coming down the driveway to look over here and see those big massive boulders with trees growing out of them. Well, that's cleared and graded. Now it's time to go up there and finish filling in the hole where we got the dirt for the driveway. Stack some of this brush up that we hauled up here from down there at the house and around that rock. Like I already said, he's going to have a good burn pile. All this stuff. I'll pile it up good for him. But he's going to have a good fire whenever the time comes. Hopefully he can handle it. borrow pit is filled in. I just pretty much cut down the surrounding ground about 16-18 inches and pushed it all in there and tracked it in. And there is the burn pile. Pretty good sized pile. He said he could take care of burning it, so we're going to leave it just like that. So we ended up putting like 10, 11 or 12 loads in here, I can't remember. But got all the dirt hauled in here to soften this slope up to the garage doors. And I just dug and put the culvert pipe in. I didn't want to have to fill that in and let all that water from way up there run across the driveway, because it could eventually keep eroding this side out, since it's like 2.5 feet, 3 feet high now. So we put in a culvert pipe, and I'll just kind of create a nice little bowl right there, and any runoff water will run down and go through this pipe and out into the woods. So I got that installed. I'm gonna go ahead and cover it up and finish grading this out and wait on some stone to come. So I got 80 more tons of stone coming. I'm gonna spread this load out and then let him bring a couple more, and I'll come down here and spread it a little thicker, get it back filled up against the garage and the driveway going out. the new driveway is done. It's everywhere that I cleared. It'll come down. There's the pipe I put in. Goes up to the garage now. Nice little turnaround. Go down there by the garage and get you a little better video. You can see a little better now. It curves in off the driveway and comes down here and soften this slope up here to the garage, and a little turnaround down there for 2 cars, or for 2 cars to park, and one right here. I think it turned out well.